Trev, do you still go City, or it's going to be some game, isn't it?
It is, and I think you look at April for both clubs, absolutely huge. I've just gone through both of them myself. I think Liverpool have got slightly easier April. You know, you look at Watford, United are not the force that they were, but you look at Manchester City's April and it is ridiculously difficult. So there's some key games there. Obviously, we all know the FA Cup, the Premier League and the Champions League are up for grabs. I'd like to say City, but I actually think Liverpool, because I think, one, Pep Guardiola at times in big games, playing against, Liverpool and Champions League finals, I think he tinkers too much. And two, you look at the Liverpool team and they've got more individual stars that can take the game by the scruff of the neck and actually go and win the game. And I don't think you see that in City. I think you've got the consistency there with Manchester City and they're going to keep possession. But I think it's swung. I think the advantage is swung towards Liverpool. And I hope I'm wrong, but obviously I want City to do well. But I just feel Liverpool have got the bit between the teeth and they're probably favourites.
Well, this weekend, let's have a look. Let's concentrate. Burnley, Man City, and Liverpool against Watford. Both fighting for their lives, Burnley and Watford. So it's not... if this was the start of the season, you'd say, I don't see a problem here. But this could be a little bit harder than what we think.
Yeah, and listen, Ray will know from being at the top of the table a lot of his career, when you're playing against them lower division sides who are in a relegation battle towards the end of the season, strange results can happen, and they seem to have more concentration, be more committed, have a little bit of an extra yard on them, and really want to try and win the points for that club. So, yeah, I mean, you would look at these two games. I would say that probably both Manchester City and Liverpool are going to win, but I think there is more jeopardy in it because they're in a relegation battle.
What's the trophy Man City really want to win, Trev? I mean, is it the Premier League? Because the league for me was always the biggest one to win. But obviously, because Man City haven't won the Champions League under Pep Guardiola, or is that the one they really think, well, we've got to go for that one?
Yeah, I think publicly they'll come out and say the Premier League, won't they? Because that is your bread and butter. That's 38 games. It's over the whole of the season.
Consistent,
Yeah, I think, listen, that was what Pep's prided his trophy haul on, winning leagues wherever he's been. He'd done it at Barcelona, he did it at Bayern Munich, and he's done it very consistently at Manchester City. But I think secretly, and like in their hearts, they know they want the Champions League. Because everyone throws that question at him. Failure, you've not done what you got brought in to do. They're winning the league before Pep came. Pep was brought to this football club to win the Champions League, and secretly, I think they'll admit it. But I think, with the public, they will say, we want to win the Premier League because that's our bread and butter.
Where's it going to come down to? Is it going to come down to who defends the best between the two, or is it who's got the most potent strike force? Because City, you never know how they're going to play up front. Foden, Sterling, Mahrez, Grealish, Mane, Jota, Salah. Is it going to come down to goals, or is it going to come down to defensive mistakes?
Well, Al, the best team, the team that wins the league, more often than not, has the best defensive record. I think Jurgen Klopp and the way that he plays has almost turned that on its head a little bit, because they do score a lot of goals. They're very exciting. They've got a lot of options compared to a year or two ago at Liverpool with the players that they've brought in. The boy Diaz has come in. Jota brought a massive amount of ability and quality to that side and options. But yeah, it is a tough one. I think, if Liverpool are still in touch, which they are at this stage of the season, I think they will fancy themselves because they have got their match-winning players.
Believe it or not, Hal, Man City have only conceded 18, Liverpool 20, and Chelsea have only conceded 19 goals. So it just shows you the defences are pretty solid.
Yeah.
But Liverpool have outscored, obviously, Chelsea and Man City. 75 goals, Liverpool. Man City 68. And Chelsea only 57 they've scored. So I think that, look, Man City are big favourites still, Trev, I should imagine.
Yeah. Just 9 games to go.
Yeah, it's amazing. But everybody be tuned in at the Etihad when it's played.
April the 10th.
That is the biggest game for both sides. If Liverpool can obviously beat Manchester City, they'd be huge favourites to win it. And, if Liverpool get a draw, I think they'd be pretty happy with a draw. As Trev says there, I think Man City got a harder run in, but they've got such good side, both of them. The good news for any neutral out there is that it could go all the way, and it could go down to goal difference. Who knows?
Do you know what? As well, just briefly, from the top to the bottom, Burnley, Watford, of course, they're involved with the big two. What about Everton? Dear, oh dear.
Games in hand, haven't they?
What about Everton?
You still got to
Trevor?
win the games in hand,
Yeah.
haven't you, Trev? But they've got 3 games in hand on Leeds, Brentford, above them. So Frank's desperate, isn't it? And they've got to go to West Ham this weekend.
Not
Which ain't an
easy.
easy game, no. David Moyes would be saying to the lads, come on, we can still do this. We can still try and challenge that top 4. I know Europa League is going to be more important probably for West Ham now, but it won't be an easy game for Frank Lampard.
No way. Especially with the history he's got there. You know, he left that club, and I thought he was harshly treated by the West Ham fans. I've got to be honest, because I thought he always did a good job as a young player coming through.
Oh, yes.
He went to Chelsea, but I think it's some of the rhetoric afterwards, some of the things that he came out with, the quotes, how he and Rio helped build the stadium and things like that. That didn't go down well with the West Ham fans, and they don't forget. So there's been a bit of a... It's been a poor relationship between West Ham and Frank Lampard over the last 20 years. Frank Lampard definitely has come out on top because he's won so many different trophies. But I think this might be an opportunity where West Ham fans can get back at him with Everton struggling. And you say they've got games in hand. It's all right having games in hand, but they don't look like they're going to win any of them. They got beat stuffed 4-0 off Crystal Palace in the last round in the FA Cup quarterfinals. You know, they've not been good enough, and players need to start taking responsibility because they've got I think it was 15 million less wage bill than Tottenham. And they're down there in 17th position. It's just not good enough.
talkSPORT Breakfast with Alan Brazil. Thursday and Friday morning, 6 till 10. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.